Hello, future people, and welcome to Great Uncle John's weekly video log. This is the 6th edition, and it is Sunday, February the 11th, a couple of days shy of Valentine's Day. And this will be a show. I know I keep promising short video logs, and they end up running, 10, 12 minutes long. But this will be a shorter one, just because it was a relatively uneventful week for myself personally. It was just a work-a-day week, Monday to Friday, do my thing, go to my work, come back home from my work, do my home chores. So nothing remarkable in this past week for me. Weather-wise, things seem to have settled into a pretty normal winter weather pattern. We had a couple of dumps of snow. It's been cold, but not crazy cold, and I've had my snowblower out a couple of times, which I sincerely enjoy. When I bought my snowblower a few years ago, I didn't realize how much I would enjoy blowing the snow. It's a pleasure to get out in the evening and clean your driveway. I don't know, maybe it's a Canadian thing, but I'm going to be back out later on today, actually. We had some snow overnight. A little bit too much to shovel, but not quite enough for a snowblower, but I think I'll break it out anyway. Politically, let me see here. I'm just going to go over to Google News to see if I'm forgetting something, because nothing's really jumping out at me here as being super important. In the Trump saga, the Me Too movement caught up with the White House this past week. One of Trump's secretary, I believe, Rob Porter, is that his name, was accused by his ex-wives of being a domestic abuser, and there was some photographic evidence to back it up. And really, he had not much of a choice but to resign. It's interesting because Trump himself has been immune to criticism of this sort. Well, maybe not the criticism, but certainly the consequences of his actions. He's done. At this point, it's hard to, without having a list in front of you, it's hard to catalog all the just awful things Trump has done and said. And historically, of course, Trump's been accused of sexually abusing and harassing women, and he's on tape talking about grabbing women by the pussy and so forth. So a despicable man like Trump seems untouchable. I guess that doesn't extend to his aides. Actually, there's been a couple of aides over the last several days who have taken a hit for that, and it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. The people around Trump are not invulnerable. That's, I think, what we're learning. Trump himself may be exercising at the moment some sort of executive privilege to get away with his outrages, but those around him best be careful because they're paying the price. Domestically, let me see here. In Ontario, Caroline Mulroney is running for the Progressive Conservative Party leadership, and there will be a provincial election in several months. The terribly unpopular Kathleen Wynne will be up for a fight if the Conservatives can come up with a viable candidate. Right now they have Christine Elliott, who I know absolutely nothing about, and Doug Ford, who's Rob Ford's brother, and I think anyone that's followed the Ford saga in Canada probably knows what Doug Ford is all about. So if Doug Ford wins, I guess it'll be another Kathleen Wynne government. My prediction is that Caroline Mulroney is going to take the provincial Progressive Conservative leadership and then go on to win the provincial premiership, the election. She's an unknown. Well, she's not an unknown. Everyone knows the family name, and they've heard Caroline Mulroney probably mentioned in the news in some context or another in the past. She's been sort of sniffing around politics for a little while now. But she's a political unknown. She hasn't held office. She has no political experience. She's a smart and accomplished woman, apparently, a corporate lawyer, who set up, I believe, charitable a charitable organization, but no political experience. And going from 0 to 60, they're saying, well, she can't be premier. She has no experience on the job. How can premier is in an entry-level position? I tend to agree, but I also think the electorate likes celebrity. They like a well-spoken, charismatic, younger person. I think my prediction is that Caroline Mulroney will win not only the PC leadership, but she'll win the election in a few months. And it is sort of the era or age of outsider politics. That's what Trump represented as well. And I'm not saying Caroline Mulroney is in any sense a Trumpian. I don't think she is. I think she appears to be a progressive conservative in the old school model. I guess like her dad. I mean, people have negative things to say about her father, but I don't think he was a ideologically race-based politician like the current alt types are, and I don't think Caroline Mulroney is either. She's a corporatist, of course. All conservatives are. Most politicians are. It'll be interesting. That's my prediction now, anyways, that Caroline Mulroney will win the premiership, and she will ride it out through another Trudeau government. Trudeau, I think, will win the next federal election as well. So let me see. That's 2019. So Mulroney will be premier for, say, 3, 4, 5 years until the next election, and I think we'll have a Mulroney-Trudeau pair up. Which in a sense, it's kind of sad for democracy, for these dynastic power structures to arise. In the United States, you have the Bushes, and in Canada you have the Trudeaus, and now I guess the Mulroneys. So I think it's good to see fresh blood in. These people, I guess, have the connections. This is why they've risen to the top. They have the connections. They do have the, if not direct experience, in a lot of cases they've seen how government and governing works up close, in their formative years. So I wouldn't say they're completely without experience in the field. And honestly, I think Trudeau's doing a pretty good job. He says some dumb things, and I don't agree with everything he does, and as all Liberals have been for all times, more talk than substance, but I think ideologically he aligns with my views pretty closely, and I'm still giving him the benefit of the doubt. Okay, anyway, I've yammered. I hope everyone has a good upcoming future week, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, bye.